One of the best moments of the debate, of Nikki Haley's, I would argue her career, when she goes on to blame Republicans and Democrats for the national debt, which I think she was just absolutely right in. So here's that clip now.
So why are you better positioned to turn around this economy that we've heard all of these voters talking about tonight than Mr. Ramaswamy, who is a successful entrepreneur nationally right now? He's beating you in the polls.
Well, I don't care about polls. What I care about, the fact is that no one is telling the American people the truth. The truth is that Biden didn't do this to us. Our Republicans did this to us, too. When they passed that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill, they left us with 90 million people on Medicaid, 42 million people on food stamps. No one has told you how to fix it. I'll tell you how to fix it. They need to stop the spending. They need to stop the borrowing. They need to eliminate the earmarks that the Republicans brought back in. And they need to make sure they understand these are taxpayer dollars. It's not their dollars. And while they're all saying this, you have Ron DeSantis, you've got Tim Scott, you've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt. And Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt. And our kids are never going to forgive us for this. And so at the end of the day, you look at the 2024 budget, Republicans asked for $7.4 billion in earmarks. Democrats asked for $2.8 billion. So you tell me who are the big spenders. I think it's time for an accountant in the White House.
I mean, come on. That is what the kids say are straight facts right there. She mentioned entitlements, which no Republicans want to talk about entitlements these days. If they all talk about spending, and they only talk about spending when Democratic presidents are in the office, because God forbid we talk about spending when our own Republican president is in the office. So, but even if when they talk about spending now, they talk about nonsense that won't have any actual impact on the budget. They talk about things like Ukraine. And all the money we spend to Ukraine. Meanwhile, we're in debt. Yeah, the money we spend to Ukraine compared to our national debt is minuscule. Or they talk about waste and fraud and these dumb little programs. Yeah, waste and fraud. Get rid of them. Minuscule compared to our national budget. What takes up our national budget? Entitlements. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Those are what is the vast majority of our budget, and they are all mandatory, meaning that every year they automatically are added into the budget. So until we reform entitlements, until we reform Social Security, we will never get our national debt in order. We won't. And it's been this way under Democratic presidents and Republican presidents. Neither party cares about fiscal conservatism. Republicans will claim they do when a Democrat is in office, but nobody actually does. And so thank God for Nikki Haley saying, everyone's talking about spending. And she points out to the people on the stage and says they voted to raise the debt ceiling. So they claim to care about spending. They don't. Okay? This is talking to the American people as if they're adults. Hey, guess what? We don't have an unlimited budget. And guess what? The things that are contributing to our budget are entitlements. Now, I wish she had gone after the entitlements a little bit more. Talk about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid in more detail about how she plans to reform that. But even still, mentioning entitlements, that is what's to blame, and that Republicans, especially under Donald Trump, have been just as in favor of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid than Democrats. In fact, Trump famously said, I'm not going to touch your Social Security. Okay, then we can't be surprised the national debt continues to rise. And don't tell me you care about fiscal conservatism if you don't mention entitlements. So I thought that was a phenomenal answer by Nikki Haley. And thank God there's finally someone in the Republican Party talking about fiscal conservatism, not just when a Democratic politician is in office, but talking about it and blaming Republicans as well. Now, granted, she didn't really do that in the first 2 years when she was in the Trump administration, but I'm glad she's saying it now.